Hey there everybody, it is hopefully still Monday when this is going up. I'm feeling a little rambunctious this week. I want to do something fun and crazy because we're going to be recording these like as they release. So I want to do something, just kind of set it on autopilot. You guys have been asking for some more aggressive decks, but nobody's really brought up Born of Flame. This is one of my favorite piles, probably my favorite aggressive deck. I was asked for Grinning Malice, and I really flirted with the idea of throwing that down right now, but I don't know, something about Born of Flame is just calling to me right now. So we're going to jump in this pile, we're going to see what my 60 looks like. Let's talk about the cards that aren't downstairs. First of all, we've got a singleton of Flame Slash. It's sorcery speed, that's why it's up there. This is actually going to be a really quick build tutorial. A lot of it is going to be like that. This guy's bad. There we go. This guy, equally bad. This dude is as bad as these dudes, but he has haste. So I guess he's a little bit better. A little bit better. Still not great. Moving on, moving on. We got Rain of Embers. Now, this is like a baby Pyroclasm. It's like Babyclasm. I don't particularly like this card. I've got other cards that do other things with this effect. They cost a ton more mana, but I still like them a little bit better than this particular one. Searing Blaze is amazing, but one of them is kicked upstairs. I don't need too many of them because it is basically sorcery speed. We got Swifty Boots. We don't run too many creatures. We don't run really any creatures at all, so we don't need them up here. Boom, boom. Torch Fiend, that's a dude. I don't care about dudes. He's not even an impressive dude. He destroys an artifact, which is good some of the time. But this is not a deck that we build around contingency plans. This is not a deck that we build because we're scared of something happening. We are going to bash face. We are going to smash nugs. And we're going to win before we need to destroy an artifact. So we're going to move on from him. Most of the artifacts that we're going to want to destroy come down turn 4 or 5. And by then, hopefully, we've won. Fiery Hellhound, that's a dude. He pumps too. He's on the ground. He's not fast. He's nothing. Get out of here. Flames of the Blood Hand. This card and I have a storied past. It's fantastic because it's instant speed, 4 damage to the face, even without anything else printed on it. But it does prevent life gain, so it's going to stop a lot of decks that are going to get away from you. The problem with Mono Red, obviously, is that there are a lot of ways, Thragtusks being one of them. The Mono Black pile runs a lot of kind of life evasion, where they can do a Corrupt or whatever. Stopping them from gaining that life is going to give you the leverage, the momentum that you need to finish the job. So I do keep some of them down there, but I do not need this one. Oh, Fiery Tim, Pyro Tim. Tim with a little bit of spark craziness to him. This guy is going to need like some glasses or something because he's got some eye problems. He's good. He's always been good. He's just not good enough here. We got some Phoenixes. I don't want to tie my mana up for 1,000 turns, so I don't really feel like playing this guy. Furnace of Wrath. I run this card sometimes for the funniness, but there is a card for 1 more mana that does it just for me, so that's the better choice. I literally run this card instead of that other dude in my own build because I think it's funnier. But for right now, just to show you kind of like a better build, I feel like you should run the dude as opposed to that card. We got Furnace Whelp in here. That's a dude. He pumps. He's got evasion, but he's not great. This is in a dragon deck. Obsidian Fireheart. No. Why would I tie up the majority of my mana? I'm burning people's faces. I don't need this dude helping me. Chandra's Fury. We got a couple copies of them up here. We just don't need too many of them. Cone of Flame, you have to have the target, so it's not good. It's kind of just like those other cards. If you don't have enough targets out for it, like for the Nig 1 counters, or for the +1/+1 counters or whatever, it's not from the same suite. But it's just not, no, it's just not good. It's not that great, especially when you have to have the 3 targets. So they're both upstairs. Fire Elemental is boring. This guy is lame. We don't want anything to do with him. This is the guy I was talking about. For just 1 little more mana, he's going to make sure that he kills other people and not other people kill you. So that's pretty great. Moving on to this Phoenix here. I don't run this guy. I mean, he's great because he's like a removal spell. You're going to kill him. You get like a Wrath effect, kind of. I just don't run him because I don't need him in this pile. Like I said, it's a fighting trim. Look at my mana curve. It is a trim pile. I do not need these kind of gimmicky cards like this. Same thing for Hostility. Hostility's pretty badass. The art is amazing. Really just crazy. But we don't need him. Is he gonna win games for you? Yeah. Can we win without him? Definitely. So I don't really need him. I can't really point out what card is in here that's better than him, but I know that the way this deck runs, I win, and Hostility in there really kind of slows me down. He's a 6/6 haster, that's for sure, but I just don't need him. Skaragazang Firebird. He's got Bloodthirst, way too much mana. I mean, he jumps out of your graveyard all the time and all sorts of crazy fun stuff, but by turn 6, my opponent's almost dead. And as a turn 6 cast without haste, this is not getting them too dead from almost dead. So he's just not really worth it. We got Disaster Radius. This card is, I mean, now we're just getting into pretty much just too much mana. Too much mana, not enough value out of these cards that we're looking at right now. I mean, seriously, like a billion mana, 4 damage. I've got other things that are going to take care and cull the field. I don't need these. And then Worldfire is just complete bullshit. So, I mean, it basically, in this deck, I had a Worldfire build in Standard, which was hilarious. I played it like just for fun. I think I've mentioned it before. But basically, there's a couple of tricks in Standard available still right now that allows you to cast a sorcery at instant speed. So you would cast like a Pillory, you know, which is a burn spell, in case you don't know. Just any kind of burn spell, 2 damage, 1 damage, it does not matter. 3 damage Searing Spear. Cast one of those, and then in response to that being cast Worldfire. What happens in that little tutorial on Priority 2 is that Worldfire would resolve first, and after Worldfire resolves, there is still a Searing Spear or something on the stack targeting your opponent's face. Next thing they know, they've been nugged in the face and they are dead skis. So Worldfire, very fun, but in this format, we cannot do anything fun like that, so it is upstairs with you. We do not need you around here. What we do need is some Blazes. This card is amazing. This is going to win you games, definitely, and we get so many copies of it. Look at this, Earthquake. That reads Blaze. That reads Blaze and kills dudes on the ground. That's fantastic to me. Oh no, I take damage. I don't care. That is Blaze right there. 1 Flame Slash is down here because it's 1 mana 4. I don't care if it's sorcery speed if I have one of them, because that is able to kill a lot of stuff that just won't be within reach of your other burn spells. So it is important to keep this in hand. Don't waste it on a 2/2. Don't waste it on a 3/2. Don't waste it on anything that's 3 in the ass. Wait for your 4 in the asses to come down and kill it with a Flame Slash to the Rumpelstein. Lightning Bolt is Lightning Bolt, so it is in the pile. Red Sun Zenith, that's Blaze again, and it exiles stuff, and it jumps back in my pile. That seems pretty good to me. We get all of those. Ruby Medallion is insane in this, because guess what? This just got cheaper. This literally is just 1 damage in any of our Blazes, so you gotta love that. Run both of those. Searing Blaze I talked about is actually really good. It is just a solid card. It removes somebody on the field because it's early game, so it's going to get rid of some creature that's bugging the shit out of you, and it is going to punch some dude in the face for 3 damage. Hold on to your lands if you don't need them for anything else. Keep a land in hand, because if you draw another land, you'll be able to play it. You're actually not losing momentum by keeping a land in hand, really, when you think about it, when you have like the versatility of it. So not all the time, mind you. Don't just hold on to the land miserly, but don't be afraid to hold on to lands when you know you have stuff like this waiting for you in your pile. We got a couple of those. We've got Searing Spear as well. This is 3 damage for 2 instant speed. That is good enough for this deck. We've got Chandra's Phoenix. This is really the only creature that we're going to run in the pile, to be honest with you. We have one other one way down there that we already talked about, but this guy just constantly comes back to our hand, and he is haste, which means that 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be able to cast this dude, and it's going to be 2 damage for 3. I don't care about that. I don't care about him getting, like, killed. I don't care about him getting exiled, really, because it's 3 damage, or it's 2 damage for 3. So I really don't care about anything else on this card. He's going to be a body. He's going to make them waste spells, which really can't target anything else in our deck. But he's very annoying for our opponents, and he is very fast, and he can get a couple of hits in, so he does do a little bit of work. Got a shiny one as well. We got this dude. I know that I just said we just don't have a lot of creatures. Let's put it that way. So we got this guy. This guy's pretty awesome because he pumps in the front. There are a lot of tricks we can do with this guy. Obviously, he's going to go up to a 4/3 whenever an opponent is dealt non-combat damage. That's everything else in the pile. So at instant speed, when they declare no blockers or something, you can be like, oh, nug you in the face for 3. That's 7 damage on the turn, which is pretty damn impressive. The only thing I wish is that this guy had haste, but then he'd probably cost at least 1 or 2 more mana. So this is a pretty good package, actually. He's a very solid turn 3. Flame Break is going to clean side. It's going to get rid of goblins. It's going to get rid of a lot of shit that's just going to bother you. And creatures dealt damage this way cannot be regenerated. That's huge because we do not have a way to get rid of some of the bigger, more dangerous creatures in the format. We really have to kill our opponents quickly. Flame Break gets the job done. It's insane in Two-Headed Giant because it actually deals 6 damage for 3. But remember that that works both ways. We already talked about Flames of the Bloodhand. It is a good card, and it is in there. We've got Flames of the Firebrand. All these cards are like the same exact name. This targets multiple creatures, so you definitely run it. I mean, it can be 3 damage all to 1, or it can be 1/1/1, like 2 creatures, 2 1/1s in your opponent's face. It's a fantastic card. I really, really like this. I know it's sorcery speed, but even still, the utility of it makes up for the fact that it's sorcery speed and the fact that it costs a little expensive for 3 damage in this deck. But the utility is worth it. This card shuts down so many decks. People are afraid to run it because they're like, oh no, I'm getting hit too. But in this deck, in this particular deck, you are hitting your opponent first and you are hitting your opponent faster. And this is going to make sure that they are not able to recover from that. Let them play their Thragtusks. You can kill it with the Searing Spear when it comes in to attack you. They will not gain any life from it, and they will be taking this damage. And remember that the clock starts on them. It's going to be their turn after you play it, so it's going to be their first upkeep. They're going to lose the 2 life. You are already ahead. Make sure when you lay this, though, that you have not a huge lead, but a comfortable lead. Make sure that you feel a little snugly inside yourself when you lay this card down on the table, because it can get a little sticky. You don't want to just table that bad boy and then have somebody smash you about the face and arms where the 2 damage is going to kill you. It is hilarious, though, because this will go off every turn if they do something like Time Warp or any kind of that shenanigan goes on. This is going to keep going off and hitting them. So if you have some free mana, you can still win the game running mono red if your opponent has infinite turn combo, if you've set up shop correctly. So that's pretty fantastic to me. Chain Reaction, that is a board wiper pretty much. It's very good for us because we don't have a lot of creatures. A lot of the creatures in the format's toughness is not going to be more than the amount of creatures out unless somebody is playing around this card. A lot of the creatures we're going to be worried about killing and want to kill en masse. I'm thinking of the Thragtusks of the world and, you know, the Blood Gift Demons, stuff like that, the Vampire Nighthawks. This is going to take care of those cards for us because generally they will have 3 dudes out, and that will take care of 2 of the cards that I mentioned. Blood Gift Demon, anything with 4 is a little tricky, but we have other removal in the pile for that. It's just that this guy gets fatter, especially against the Token Gen deck. It's just a very good card. And this is actually kind of a control pile, and every control pile needs a board wipe to just kind of reset the clock and be like, hey, I don't like what's happening, let's start over with me kicking your ass this time. We've got Chandra's Outrage. This card is pretty damn good. It is going to kill a dude and poke their controller's face. So I definitely love this card. The 4 damage is insane here. I run a little bit more than I think other people do, but that's because that is solid removal for creatures that we do not have solid removal for. The 4 in the asses can get a little big, and this is just going to go ahead and wallop them twice. It's going to kill that creature. and it's going to damage our opponent. So it is always a good card. It always has that utility to it. We got Beak of Destruction. This thing is awesome. It shuffles into our library, which is great. That is Lava Axe, basically, with sustainability attached to it. Lava Axe was one of my favorite cards when I was coming up playing. And this is pretty much a better version of Lava Axe. So do I like it? Yes. Yes, I do. Chandra's Fury deals 4 damage to target player and 1 damage to each creature that player controls. It is a 5-drop, so I only run a singleton of it. There's only one of this guy running around in my pile, but it is very good. You just have to wait to use it for the perfect moment. It is an instant, though, which is fantastic. That is one of the things that makes that card insane. Here's that creature we were talking about. He's a guy. He does things. He's good. I'm not crazy about him because he's not funny enough for me. But he is very good. We've got some other creatures down here, but they're a little bit of a surprise, unless you've played Magic before. Fire Blast is fantastic. I will gladly sack 2 mountains to kill you. You use that as a finisher, or when you're close to finishing your opponent, you can tap down and still kill someone. This is great. If you are facing that infinite turn combo, if you have this in hand, and they keep taking that 2 damage, you can still kill them when they get within that 4 range. So that's pretty good. They can be at 6. You do that to them when they tap down to do something stupid. You can get out of that. I'm not saying that you will win against Infinite Turn. I'm just saying that this deck has a lot of outs against it, surprisingly. And then we've got 2 Inferno Titties. Now these things are red hot. They are just pert and excited to see you. This card will win you games. This card just comes down and smashes face, wins games. I will run 1,000 of these things. I'm always happy to see him, unless he's in my opening grip. But if I draw him at any point during the match, I'm skipping down the lane. So that will be my 60 for Born of Flame. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I do run through the 60s a little bit quickly, but we'll be talking more about the decks during the week while we play with it a little bit more. I hope you guys are happy with this deck. I know that a couple of you were asking for like Gritty Malice, and I will get to that. That'll probably be next week. Or there's just so many fun decks though. Peacekeepers is kind of high up on my list because I think it doesn't get enough love. Peacekeepers has a lot of really interesting removal in it. But I don't know. I was playing Born of Flame, and I just really wanted to show you my 60 for it. I don't think it's anything too revolutionary, but I definitely know that we were going to get a ton of wins with it. So stay tuned for that. We also have a ton to talk about this week. The last couple weeks I've been kind of MIA. I've been playing a lot of the Cardboard Monster lately, and that has been a huge time suck. I know I haven't been answering the comments and stuff as much, but I was preparing for the SGC Indy that I was in over the weekend. So I'll be talking to you guys about that a little bit and about some other exciting things that are happening around here. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching the 60, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helps you kind of build this deck a little bit better. Even if you just take 1 or 2 of my ideas and mash them together with some of your own, I just hope that this helps you kind of see what this deck can do if you build it this way. So, thanks a lot for watching, you guys. I will see you tomorrow.